Reverend Liz Strong writes, Unitarian Universalism is not the freedom to believe anything or nothing. It is the freedom to reason and feel your own way to what evidence leads you to believe. You have the freedom to form your own beliefs, but there are responsibilities that go with this freedom. Our fourth principle says this so clearly. We affirm and promote the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. It doesn't say we affirm and promote a free search for truth and meaning. It says a free and responsible search. We often forget about that second word, responsible. Responsible. Responsible to what? Responsible for what? Andrew Tripp, our current intern minister, says, people can and do believe whatever they want. However, when we come together as Unitarian Universalists, we give up some of that freedom to believe in ways that are not responsible. We give up the freedom to believe in harmful or unjust things. We accept the burden of responsible meaning-making. We accept the burden of responsible meaning-making and reasonable beliefs. We, as Unitarian Universalists, agree that our meaning-making must not be at the expense of others or the exclusion of others. Aileen Dashrova, our Director of Faith Development, likewise feels strongly about defining the boundaries of our liberal faith. Aileen says, many people, including Unitarian Universalists, say that UUs can believe anything they want. I think that when people say this, they are attempting to explain our faith, and they stress this openness of belief in comparison to a creed or dogma, such as one would find in more traditional Roman Catholic, Orthodox Jewish, or religious cultures. But Unitarian Universalists have strong and powerful beliefs. For example, one of our 7 principles is that we affirm and promote democracy, and that all people must have a voice in what affects their lives. Thus, as a UU, we would then not believe in imperialism or the imperialist actions of any country. Likewise, says Aileen, a government or society that does not allow free and safe speech would not be something that we as UUs could support or encourage. Any system or behavior that is not aligned with our 7 UU principles is not something that we believe in or encourage. Take, for instance, our 6th principle, the stated belief in the goal of a world community. There's no place for America first or any form of nationalism here. Our faith says that the individual national interests must be sacrificed on the altar of responsibility to a greater world community. That is radical, that is revolutionary, and I know even in this congregation that is controversial. Our 7 principles and purposes have historical beliefs and influences that are connected to them. And that is why it's so important to study and learn the history of Unitarian Universalism. Let me say that again. It is so important to study and learn the history of our chosen Unitarian Universalist faith. Why belong to anything if we don't know where it comes from? Nothing comes into being without a context. Our present beliefs didn't develop in a vacuum over the last 100 years. Countless people died over 2,000 years to shape them. 2 such historical milestones that today may seem almost inconsequential, but that at its time was revolutionary and still influences us today, include the belief that Jesus of Nazareth was an inspired human being rather than the divine Son of God, which, by extension, means that we believe that each one of us, as human beings, like Jesus was, has the capacity to share great love and bring healing to the world. We're not off the hook because of Jesus. We're on the hook because of Jesus. A second belief that evolved over the history of our faith is the belief that an authentic religious life cannot ignore the progress of science, which means that the meaning we find in life cannot sacrifice scientific discoveries to ancient myths. So what does that all mean? Aileen Dasharova explains. Unitarian Universalists can enjoy, perhaps, and engage, for example, in the beauty of a festival to Mary in the North End in Boston. We can watch, buy food from the food vendors, smile, and be grateful to be part of the celebratory experience. As UUs, we have a framework to decide whether we ourselves believe in a Roman Catholic honoring of the Virgin Mary, Mother of God. The easiest guideline is that UUs do not believe in the Trinity of God. We are Unitarians, after all, in contrast to Trinitarians and their Trinity. Therefore, if Jesus is not the divine Son of God, as the Trinity suggests, then Mary is simply the mother of a powerful human. So we cannot honor Mary as the mother of God. We then can discern whether we believe in the virgin birth. Science gives us many reasons why a woman cannot become pregnant if no human male is involved, at least in some way. As UUs, we can choose, based on science, whether we want to believe in a miraculous conception with only one human partner. Using this method of free and responsible and historically informed search for truth and meaning, we can decide to eat our sausage, peppers, and onions while parading behind Mary on a platform. But rather than worshiping Mary as a virgin blessed among all women, we might walk to honor all mothers, especially those mothers whose children have been killed while standing up for our 7 Unitarian Universalist principles. This is free and responsible faith in action. But our beliefs ask us to do so much more than justify eating a sausage sandwich at a street festival. Our free and responsible search forces us to again and again ask and answer the question, responsible for what? Responsible to what? To each other? To the mission of this church? To that which is greater than us? Responsible to what? To our broken world? To truly demanding justice for the wronged? To actually unseating the powers that diminish the human spirit? To actually sacrificing in order to reverse the destruction of our fragile ecology? Reverend David Rankin, who I've quoted extensively from in this sermon, says, "We must express our faith in explicit action, in restructuring a better society, in responding to the perils of our time. We must act, seeking out the needy, identifying injustice, risking controversy. It is not enough to worship, pray, sing, and bow down as if meditations will alleviate hunger, as if hymns will still the cries of the oppressed. May our beliefs, beliefs conceived in the cauldron of our own hearts and minds, beliefs shaped and refined in the context of our shared faith. May our beliefs lead us to become practitioners of a new form of prophecy, our collective selves becoming the spirit of love and outrage, clapping like thunder, healing the world. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.